What is probate and how does it work? I'm Leslie Sultan. I'm an estate planning attorney in New York, and I'd like to talk to you for a minute about probate. Let's start with the definition. Probate is a legal process that is a bit lengthy and costly for for a deceased person to distribute their assets to their family members or loved ones or charities. This is a process that is used mostly for wills, and there's a very similar process if somebody dies without a will. Now let's talk about who has a will. 6 out of 10 people who die do not have a will or any estate plans. So that means that they're going to go through a probate process. Of the people that do have estate planning documents done, only 10% of those have a trust. So what's the difference? Have you ever seen on TV or in the movies where a character dies and the family is sitting in a nice private attorney's office and they're learning all about their inheritance? Yeah, that's not the probate process. That would be most likely when there's a trust. So that means that you're going to go through a court process. Court processes are expensive, they're costly, and they're public. And why they're public is because they were designed to let creditors know that somebody has died and to give them a way to stake a claim for the money that's owed to them. So I'm going to take you through a quick run through of the probate process. There's about 5 steps. It starts with a petition. So a family member or a friend is going to come to the court and say, I want to help distribute the assets of the deceased person. Then the court will review all the paperwork, make sure there's a will, make sure it's valid, and give authorization to that person. Then there will be an inventory. The person now has to do an inventory or an assessment of all of the assets, come back to the court and get permission to distribute it. Once it's distributed, the person comes back to do a closing of the estate. So let me give you an example of how this works. I have a client whose mother passed away, and in New York, she owned a co-op apartment. So he couldn't just sell it. He had to go to the judge. He had to make a request. She died without a will, but the process was similar. He has to be appointed an administrator and get permission to sell the assets. From the day we filed the petition to the day he was given permission, it took 5 months. During that 5 months, he owed money for the apartment, the maintenance fees, mortgage, etc. And so by the time he actually sold it, the value to him was decreased. I'll give you another example. I had a client whose mother passed away. She owned a house and they had tenants. And she had one sibling who was a minor. That meant every time she wanted to do something with the court, she had with the property, she had to go to court. So to defend the foreclosure, she had to go back to court. To get rid of the tenants who stopped paying, she had to go back to court. All of this cost money at an hourly rate and took time. So unfortunately, probate is a lengthy process, and really the only way to avoid it is through trust. I'm curious, have you had a probate story? Was it great? Was it a nightmare? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Please feel free to leave it for us. And if you have more questions or you'd like to talk more about estate planning, give us a call or check us out online. Thank you.